Robert J. Wright and Aaron McCarty, guests on Keel, are heard always via the Jack Spring Electric Keel Newsmaker hotline. Mr. Chris Bloxham is the general manager at Republic Services. Mr. Chris, welcome to Keel. Thank you for taking time for us this morning.
Hey, thank you very much. I certainly do appreciate being on the world-famous Robert and Aaron show.
Now, you guys, Republic Services sort of find yourself at the center of the, and I don't know if we're far enough along to call it a controversy yet, but at the contract impasse between, I guess, Pratt and Republic and the city of Shreveport. And let's kind of start here. This is a deal that you at Republic, you guys, do you think it can still get done? What is your position in all of this?
Well, I certainly hope we can get it done. Recycling is a huge part of the Republic footprint, and we want to continue to do recycling in Shreveport. So I certainly hope in the next 65 days that we can work this out, we can move forward, and it's really up to the citizens in the city of Shreveport if they want recycling. But if they do, we want to be a part of it. I can assure you of that.
I would think that you guys at this point don't really want, since you're kind of in negotiations, don't want things to get overly antagonistic, or for that matter, antagonistic at all. But is it of concern to you and the folks at Republic and maybe even Pratt, I don't know if you can speak for them, that this has been on the table since February or something, you had said?
Yeah, the first legislation was January. So, the Pratt, and if you go back, actually you have two agreements that have been approved by the council, one in March and one in April. So, this has been an ongoing discussion for a long time. We were shocked and disappointed when it was pulled off the table last Tuesday. However, this is how democracy works, and we certainly want to see what we can do to resolve the problem in the next 65 days.
Chris, in an email to the mayor and the CAO, you say, I'm quoting, the recycling relationship between the city of Shreveport and Republic is no longer a realistic option. I need what your exit strategy is for our contract that ends in the next couple of months. You're essentially saying this is no longer an option. Now you're saying something different, it sounds like.
Well, please understand that the email that I sent to, actually it was Mr. Nicholson and the mayor, was after the legislation was pulled last Tuesday. And, with legislation that's been out there for 6 months, and we find out that it's pulled, and I think I said it appears that recycling is over. If not, I misworded that. But that would be my, I didn't know it was going to be taken off the table. I did not know that wasn't going to happen. And so, with 70 days left, and it appears that it was over to me at that time. And yesterday, you guys did a great job of breaking the news that's going out for RFP. We love that. We were awarded this contract on an RFP 3 years ago, and so we welcome that. It's just
can you still do it for $250 a month? Can you still do it at that price?
That requires the contract that we've been working on for the last 18 months with the city's office. So that was the whole goal of working with recycling and Pratt, was to keep it at $250, which is historically the lowest rate in the country for the next 10 years. That was the goal. And so that can be done, but again, it takes a lot of people's involvement and a lot of work, and we're just a small part of that.
There was some concern, I know, from some city council members and some city leaders that it took the raising of the rates regulation out of the hands of the city, and it left it to Republic, that it was going to be up to you guys when you needed to raise the rates. Is that not accurate?
Well, the contract that was passed, and you're welcome to read it. It was passed in April. The city council has the purse strings. They have to approve PIs. And the language says after 3 years we can approach the city for a CPI plus 1%, and but everything has to be approved by council. The mayor can't just approve that. We can't just approve that. So, I don't know that anybody's ever given a company that kind of leverage, and we certainly don't expect that here. We've operated for 3 years at $250, so you guys have the power to say we want recycling, we don't want price increases or not. But the big part of the other deal was to bring revenue to another revenue source for the city, which is the landfill and Republic, and help subsidize that. So, that's the quick answer to your question, I think.
Okay.
Mr. Chris, a couple of folks to us have implied that there is, speaking of impasse, an impasse also between Republic and Pratt about which landfill is going to be used. Is there anything to that?
Well, if they are using another landfill in DeSoto Parish, and that's their option. We don't have an agreement now. If we could have agreement, then obviously we want to bring that waste to Woolworth, generate money for Shreveport, generate money for the solid waste fund, and help fund that for Shreveport.
Is that a deal breaker for you if Pratt doesn't take the sludge to Woolworth?
Well, we found out 3 years ago after we signed this contract that it's not a deal breaker, but it's a big part of it. Okay, anything can be done, but that's a big part of the deal. It helps keep the rates low for the city for the next 10 years. It's a very important part of the deal.
Let me ask you this, Chris, as an expert in the field, you're on the witness stand, and you're testifying.
Okay.
You're testifying to all Shreveport residents.
Got my hand on the Bible.
Okay, what do we get in some? There's been some discussion apparently about privatizing all trash collection. What do Shreveport residents get when you compare what we have now, which is government sanitation department, with privatizing the entire package? What changes for Shreveport residents? And I want you to talk price, quality of service, etc. What will happen to what goes on in Shreveport if that changes?
Well, first of all, I can answer it in a couple of different ways. But first of all, that would again be up to the city if that's what they want to do. That would be a long process, and I have to say, as I moved here 2.5 years ago, Gary Norman and his staff do a fantastic job of picking up our garbage. I'm picked up every Monday. I've never had an issue. So I don't know why they would do that unless it's economic. Currently, I think it's a good deal. I pay $2.50 on my water bill for recycling. I paid $7, and everyone pays $7 for trash, which comes to $9.50. I think that's an excellent deal. Whether the city that works for the city, I don't know, and that really is a great question for them. But we as a service provider do this across the country, and we have 350 companies that do this. So we obviously would want to be involved.
Could you do it for $18 a month?
Well, Aaron, being in a competitive situation, putting something out to bid, it really wouldn't be fair for me to answer that. Okay,
I got you.
But there, and I'm not sidestepping that, but I want to be honest. We would be in a competitive bid, and we wouldn't want to announce on the radio what our number is. But
but nobody's number is that close. I mean, I know Bossier residents pay close to 30, and probably.
I don't believe that's accurate.
Okay.
But we don't. The only charges that we have for us, and I'll speak for in that 30 area, would be what we call subscription customers. And I don't want to get too inside trash there, but most are in the teens. But listen, the city provides you guys with an incredible amount of service. Picking everything up at the curb, picking up yard waste. They provide a great service for you, and that's a lot of service. So, I would like to ask you guys also to thank those guys. They do a fantastic job, and it's hard work, and especially during this pandemic now, they're taking all the stuff that no one else wants off the side of the street. So